What's up, YouTube? It's Onion Bomb here, and welcome to my week number 10 game predictions for the NFL. But before we check out what I have for week number 10, let's go back and recap how my predictions went for week number 9. As you guys can see, it didn't go that well. Could have been worse, but it didn't go that well. Unfortunately, I did pick a decent number of upsets, but some of those didn't happen, and then other upsets happened, so I picked the wrong ones. It's not that I picked too many upsets, I just didn't pick the right ones. So went 5-8. That brings the overall record to 66-51. Still a decent lead, but a couple more weeks like this and that can diminish very, very quickly. Like I said, the 2 weeks prior I had like 10 picks right and only a few numbers of picks wrong, so that was good, but sadly my streak ended. But let's see if we can start it back up. But first, the games from week 9. The Jets beat the Bills. I got that right. The Saints beat the Buccaneers. I got that wrong. I did have some hope in the Buccaneers, but after this, and I think Jameis Winston got hurt, that's starting to diminish, and it pretty much did. The Panthers beat the Falcons. I got that wrong. It was a very close game, 20-17, but I still got it wrong. The Rams beat the Giants very heavily, 51-17. I got that right. The Titans beat the Ravens. I got that wrong, but I'm glad because I hate the Ravens. The Jaguars beat the Bengals. I got that right, and I am glad. The Eagles beat the Broncos. Another score, 51-23. I got that wrong. I thought the Broncos were going to upset the Eagles and beat them. I got that wrong. What can I do? The Colts beat the Texans. I got that wrong. Very surprising. I thought I knew the Texans were going to become worse without Deshaun Watson, without a doubt. But I didn't know they were going to be that bad that they're going to beat the Colts. Texans fans must be very disappointed. But yeah, I got that wrong. The Redskins beat the Seahawks. I was very surprised about that. I got that wrong. It was only 17-14. Still very surprising. The Cardinals beat the 49ers. I got that wrong. Yeah, the 49ers don't win a game this season. The Cowboys beat the Chiefs. I got that wrong. The Raiders beat the Dolphins. I got that right. And the Lions beat the Packers. I got that right. So that adds up to 5-8. Let's get in to Week 10's game predictions. Alright, so let's take a look at these games. Starting off with Thursday Night Football. The Seahawks and the Cardinals. A divisional rivalry. I got the Seahawks. Did Carson Palmer get back? I do not know. I know they beat the 49ers. So that doesn't necessarily mean Carson Palmer came back, because a bunch of teams, even without their starting quarterbacks, could probably beat the 49ers. But I'm not sure. Either way, the Seahawks are definitely a better team. They got a good defense. And they're definitely going to bounce back from the loss from the Redskins. I have the Seahawks winning this one, regardless if Carson Palmer is there or not. I'm just wondering, because I have no idea what's going on for quarterbacks. Everyone's getting injured. Everyone's coming back. I don't know. I just know I have the Seahawks for that game. Now moving into the Sunday games, the Jets and the Buccaneers. I have the Jets. I just can't trust the Buccaneers anymore, and the Jets have been so surprising, and I finally picked the Jets, and they have came through for me, so they are going to come through for me this week and beat the Buccaneers, because the Buccaneers, I think, lost Jameis Winston, so that definitely gets the Jets an opportunity. I'm not sure what happened with the Jets. They looked like a horrible team, and now they're actually pretty decent. So I'm not sure. They're not playoff material. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're way better than I thought they were. I thought they were going to be in the boat with the Browns and 49ers, but they're not. And they were giving the Patriots a game. But I got the Jets. Alright, next up is a pretty interesting one. The Saints and the Bills. I had to think about this one for a little bit. I ended up going with the Saints just because the Bills, I have a feeling are going to start falling off here. They've been pretty surprising. They look like they're pretty good, but I feel like the Bills are going to fall off a little bit. And I think this is a game they're going to lose. The Saints have, they came up 0-2. And now they're like 6-2. I think they're going to continue this streak. And the Bills aren't going to end it. The Bills have just recently lost to the Jets. So the Jets have been surprising, like I said. The Bills just, I don't know. I think those Saints are going to win this one regardless. Next up, the Lions and the Browns. Of course I got the Lions. The Lions are a pretty decent team. The Browns are 0-7 or 8. So, yeah. The Browns are the Browns, the Lions are the Lions. The Lions are winning that one. They're a way better team than the Browns, so they're winning that. There's no upset even possible for that one. Alright, next up, the Titans and the Bengals. I have the Titans. I sure picked the Titans last week against the Ravens. I don't know. I didn't have faith, but I have faith this time. The Bengals, they're not the best team, which I'm happy about. The Titans are looking like they're going to take advantage of the Texans losing Deshaun Watson and the Colts having lost for the season Andrew Luck. And I think the Titans are going to win the AFC South. The Jaguars are putting up a fight, but I feel like they're going to come up a little bit short, and the Titans will win that. So I think the Titans will win this game. All right, next up, the Packers and the Bears. I'm going with the Packers, and yes, they do not have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, remember, is out for the season, so the Bears could win this one. They might be able to win this one, but I think the Packers are going to kind of upset them. Of course, it won't be an upset with Aaron Rodgers, but because as Brett Hundley, it's gonna be an upset. I have a feeling they're going to win this. If they don't, then I can see it, but I feel like Brett Hundley can win them to at least a couple wins. They're definitely not going to be the best, and their playoff hopes are probably done because of Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry to say it, Packers fans, but yeah, the Packers, I think, are going to win this game against the Bears. Next up, the Chargers and the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are going to win this one. Like I said, the Jaguars and the Titans are in the race for the AFC South because the Texans and the Colts are pretty much done. I think the Jaguars are going to win this one. It's probably going to be a close game. But the Jaguars, their defense has been pretty good lately. And they just came off a good win against the Bengals. And, the Chargers can choke. Like they lost to the Browns last year. They can do good things too. So that could go either way. But I think the Jaguars have that one. Alright, next up, the Vikings and the Redskins. Another very interesting one that I had to think about. But I went up with the Vikings. The Redskins came off a surprising win against the Seahawks. But the Vikings are just looking pretty good. Like I said, even with Case Keenum, they're looking pretty good. They're 6-2. The Redskins are 4-4. I think the Redskins got lucky last week. And I don't think they're going to continue on a win streak. And I think the Vikings will beat the Redskins, and the Redskins win, which is kind of a fluke, either on the Seahawks side or on the Redskins side. I didn't watch the game, I didn't even watch highlights, but I think the Vikings have definitely a chance to win that one. Alright, so next up is my game, the Steelers and the Colts. Of course I got the Steelers. The Colts surprised people by being the Texans. Even though the Texans lost Deshaun Watson, I thought at least the Texans without Deshaun Watson could still beat the Colts, because the Colts without Andrew Luck are pretty much Brown level, 49er level status, but they did. So I don't know, but they're definitely not doing this one. The Steelers are way too good. Even though the Steelers lose to bad teams, I just think the Colts are just too bad for the Steelers to lose. Like, the Steelers lost to the Bears and the Jaguars so far, which were surprising and saddening, but I just, they are like, but the Steelers beat teams like the Browns, so like, I think they got this one. The Steelers might, they might choke and make a game out of it, but and not like blow out the Colts, but I don't think they're gonna choke so bad and let the Colts win. If they do, I'm gonna be pretty upset, and that's an understatement. But no, the Steelers are winning that game. All right, next up, the Texans and the Rams. Of course, if you guys can't predict already, I got the Rams. I know, because I've been bashing kind of the Texans, how they lost to the Colts, and which, like I said, they were surprising. So a team that's good like the Rams is going to definitely destroy the Texans if the Texans, without Deshaun Watson, can't beat the Colts. So the Rams have a pretty easy game, easier than I thought it would be, but maybe I'm wrong, because there's been a ton of upsets this year. I'm not sure if it's just me looking at games more in depth with predicting them and seeing how much like I'm wrong, but I don't know. I just think the Rams will win this one, because the Texans just it doesn't look good for them without Deshaun Watson. I know I've said that like 500 times this video, but after this game, I don't think I should be saying it anymore. Alright, this is a pretty interesting one. The Giants and the 49ers. I'm going with the Giants. The Giants have not been good at all, and it's not entirely their fault because they've lost so much to injury. The 49ers have not been good at all. I don't know. They just need a rebuild, to be honest. The reason I have the Giants is just the sole fact that the Giants did do something, and that is beat the Broncos. And they do give a couple teams games. Just the 49ers have showed me nothing so far. This could be a game where they get their win, but after last week, I thought they were going to lose to the Arizona Cardinals, who I think lost Carson Palmer for that game. I'm not entirely sure about that, but they didn't win that game. They lost by 10. So I think the Giants can do this one. I don't know. This one could go either way. This is just two bad teams going at, to be honest. So I'm not sure. All right, next up, a little bit of a better game. The Cowboys and the Falcons. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. These are two pretty good games. I think Ezekiel Elliott, I'm not sure what's going on with him. I think he's on suspension. Either way, the Falcons always, they've always surprised me every time I think they're going to win a game. They're not. So I think they're going to lose this game. I don't know that. I thought the Cowboys were losing last week. They didn't. I thought the Falcons were winning last week. They didn't. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys. That's my final answer. Cowboys are winning that one, whether or not Zeke is there or not. If Zeke is there, then I feel stronger about my opinion. But if he's not there, that's a little bit of a stretch. But I feel like the Cowboys are going to end up winning that somehow. Just the Falcons have just been struggling for no reason at all. Alright, the last Sunday game, a bit of an interesting one. The Patriots and the Broncos. I have the Patriots. If the Broncos had a good quarterback, this could have been like a heavy toss-up. But because of that, and the Broncos, they just struggle. Like, I thought they were gonna win an upset over the Eagles last week. I got that wrong. Like I said, I kind of wanted to pick them over the Patriots, but I feel like that's just my bias of wanting the Patriots to do bad because I'm a Steelers fan, to just knock them completely out of the playoffs. But that's definitely not going to happen. So I am going with the Patriots. They can definitely do this. The Broncos' defense is still there, but just, I don't know, the Broncos really need a quarterback, and of course the Patriots are the Patriots, so they are going to do this. This might be like, a decent scoring game, but I just think the Patriots are going to come out with the win. And lastly, Monday Night Football, the Dolphins and the Panthers. I'm going with the Panthers. The Panthers are starting to turn their season around, and I think they're going to do it so much that they're going to make the playoffs, whether it's they win their division or wild card. I believe they will make the playoffs in some way, shape, or form. And the Dolphins always disappoint me, so I'm not going to pick them this week. The Dolphins just, they every time I think they're going to win, they don't. So they have been pretty disappointing, and they've been kind of on a losing streak and not looking like the best team. And the Panthers have been doing pretty well lately. They came off a victory against the Falcons, and the Dolphins came off a loss against the Raiders. So I'm just going to see like the Panthers' momentum continues, and the Dolphins still suck, and I'm going to go with the Panthers winning this game. So those are my Week 10 NFL game predictions. I'll go through them really quickly to recap them. I have the Seahawks beating the Cardinals, the Jets beating the Buccaneers, the Saints beating the Bills, the Lions beating the Browns, the Titans beating the Bengals, the Packers beating the Bears. I have to mess up at least once every time I do this, I swear. The Jaguars beating the Chargers, the Vikings beating the Redskins, the Steelers beating the Colts, the Rams beating the Texans, the Giants beating the 49ers, the Cowboys beating the Falcons, the Patriots beating the Broncos, and the Panthers beating the Dolphins. Those are my picks for week number 10. If you want to know how I did, I will recap it like I did with week number 9 in week number 11's video. And of course, I'll have the week 11 predictions in week 11 predictions video. And like I just said, with a recap of how I did with week 10. I hope I do good. I can't go negative too many more times here because it's gonna start showing on the record. Still, like I said, 66 and 51. That's still pretty good. I can't have another 5 and 8 week too many times. So yeah, I want bring back the 10 and 3 and 10 and 6 weeks. Let's go with that. Anyway, that's the end of this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like or dislike, subscribe or don't subscribe. It's always up to you. And I'll see you guys in the next video you watch of me. Goodbye.